So one technical analysis said that XRP can hit $150 by the end of this market cycle, which in his mind was the end of this year, the end of 2021. Now that might sound very outlandish. In fact, there's a lot of other price predictions that say XRP to $15, $20, even $25 are completely ludicrous, and they're never going to happen. So how's it going to hit $150? Well, there's some technical indicators that show there's a chance that it could. Of course, there's always some caveats, one of which being the SEC case. But we're going to talk about the idea that XRP could hit $150 by the end of the year. Also, there is a flippening that people are keeping their eyes on. Now, a flippening in the crypto world, meaning if you look at the market cap, who's the biggest market cap? It's Bitcoin. But Ethereum and those who hold Ethereum have been saying for quite some time now that Ethereum is going to overtake Bitcoin in terms of who's got the largest market cap. That's what the flippening is about. But there's another one that's happening, and it's with Cardano. I'm going to talk a little bit about why that's happening in this video. Also, I just recently put out a poll which asked you guys, what do you think is the biggest price manipulators of Bitcoin? And by Bitcoin, I really mean the crypto space, but I use Bitcoin because Bitcoin drives the market. And the answer actually kind of had me scratching my head. I was a little bit surprised because a lot of the times these polls I put out, I can kind of predict what the answer or what the majority are going to pick. This one actually surprised me. I'm going to tell you what the answers were to that poll. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. On this channel, I'm covering cryptocurrency news, investment markets, personal finance, and of course, the Ripple versus SEC case. So if any of those topics interest you, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon so that YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. And of course, I believe people in the cryptocurrency world are the most generous people. Go ahead, click the thumbs up button. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm and tells YouTube to share this video with other audiences. So if you do that, of course, I'd greatly appreciate it. So with that, let's jump into it. So let's start by talking about Cardano. In my previous video, I briefly mentioned it, and doing a little more research, I see that Cardano versus Ethereum in this flippening is gaining a little more traction, especially on Twitter. Well, a lot of people, especially the ones that hold Cardano, are saying that, listen, Cardano is the Ethereum killer. I don't really think there's going to be an Ethereum killer or a Bitcoin killer or anything like that. However, there are going to be some competitors that take some of that market share. Well, Cardano definitely looks like it could be that. Well, a YouTuber, Crypto Capital Ventures, actually did a video where he kind of laid this out, and he actually tweeted out and said in January of 2021, the Ethereum market cap was actually 18 times greater than Cardano. Well, now it's only 7 times greater than Cardano, which basically means Cardano has grown significantly faster than Ethereum has in the last 6 months. Now, of course, there's some even bigger news coming out, as Cardano just announced that at the end of August is their time frame for smart contracts hitting the Cardano ecosystem. That used to be big news for pretty much any cryptocurrency that would announce that, but this is especially big for Cardano because as a developmental kind of ecosystem, it's a lot of times compared to what Ethereum is. In the development ecosystem and the development community, people that build on top of the Ethereum community are the same types of people who are going to be building on top of the Cardano ecosystem. So definitely a lot of comparisons there. So it's something to keep an eye on. And if you follow me on Twitter, which I will post a link in the description below, you can follow that topic there as well, as I typically like to dig into things on Twitter that I don't necessarily dig in on these videos. If you're new to the channel, I'd actually encourage you, after you're watching this video, go ahead and visit the community tab on this channel. And what I do there is basically post a bunch of different polls, questions, so I get to learn what the Late Night Grind community is actually thinking about the crypto space, about certain projects, certain tokens, things like that. Well, this latest one I asked, what do you guys think is the greatest price manipulator of Bitcoin price? And when I say Bitcoin price, I typically mean the crypto market as a whole. I just use Bitcoin because Bitcoin drives the market. I said, what is driving the Bitcoin price? The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Tether, the halving events, or global adoption, or the whales, meaning the big buyers and sellers of Bitcoin. And the biggest answer so far, with about 60% of the answer, went to whales, or the big institutional buyers that buy or sell a ton of Bitcoin kind of all at once. Sometimes they move the market price, sometimes they don't. It's interesting, 60% of you believe that that is what drives the Bitcoin price and really thus the rest of the crypto market price altogether. So that's really interesting. So after a couple days, I'm actually going to tweet out the results of this poll because honestly, I find that really, really interesting. Because if you look at price predictions of Bitcoin or really any other crypto, a lot of times it's based on halving events. For instance, the stock to flow model, which predicts the price of Bitcoin that could be 200,000 to 300,000 by the end of this year, possibly $1 million in the next market cycle. and other similar models like it generally kind of dismiss the information about the big buyers or even the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust or ETFs coming into play for the price of Bitcoin. So it's really, really interesting. Comment in the comment section down below if you picked whales as why you think why they are the biggest market manipulators. I kind of want to hear why. And so now if you are an XRP holder, you want to know why XRP could hit $150 this market cycle by the end of the year. So if you've been watching these videos, the ones that I do for quite some time, I've been keeping my eye on the stock to flow model, the one that predicts that Bitcoin is going to be, it could be somewhere in the neighborhood of $200,000 to $300,000 by the end of the year, or what's also my opinion, this is an elongated market cycle, and the peak of the market cycle may not hit until January or February of 2022. And in fact, I just saw yesterday, somebody else said January, February is probably early. He thinks the peak of this market cycle won't hit until March or April. So in any case, there was a technical analysis done, one that I watch, and I watch 3 or 4 literally every single day. But this one brought something new in the fact that he looked at the historical price of XRP and didn't just look at a market cycle prediction or a halving prediction or Bitcoin price or really anything like that, which is generally a good idea because Bitcoin drives the market and XRP is still coupled to Bitcoin for the most part. So when he charted this, he actually took the price trend from way back in 2013 up to current, or essentially 2022, or the very beginning of 2022. And when you extend the full Fibonacci levels, it still says XRP is only going to be about $20 to $30. So how does it get that much higher, even if it hits the full Fibonacci extension? Well, his was based on trends. His trend lines that pointed all the way back to 2013, which if you look at also looking at key resistance and support levels, it kind of does trend that there's a possibility that on the technical side, XRP could be $150. Now, of course, it all has caveats. Things like Ripple has to win this case against the SEC. They just do. If the SEC wins, regardless of what punishments comes to Ripple, XRP is not necessarily going anywhere, but that's going to put a big, heavy cloud on the price of XRP. And there has to be a monumental market cycle at the end of the year, which a lot of people still believe is going to happen, as well as more institutional adoption of the XRP ledger. Regardless of this SEC case, has been going on behind the scenes, and let me tell you, they are doing a fantastic job at building out this ecosystem where the on-demand liquidity system, the XRP, is going to be used in a massive, massive way. So this is going to be really interesting to follow for the rest of this year because I put out these videos pretty much every day. A lot of it's following Ripple and XRP, the case versus the SEC, but I'm also exploring, really diving into other cryptocurrencies. I have a video coming out about quant networks because quant has been going astronomical lately, and it's a really, really interesting project that a lot of people are comparing to XRP. I'm going to tell you what that's about in my next video. So make sure you're subscribed. Turn on the bell notification so you'll be subscribed when I drop that next video on quant. And so it's really interesting to me. Not only that, Quant Networks has 10x since November, so another reason you might want to keep an eye on things. Which I also have in the poll on the community tab on the Late Night Grind channel. So make sure you go ahead and hit that tab. Fill out all the polls and you can see what everybody in the Late Night Grind community is thinking for all these cryptocurrency news, all these new networks, all these tokens. It's really interesting to see. So I really appreciate you guys following along, watching these videos, supporting the channel, supporting the polls. It really means a lot to me. All right, guys, well, I appreciate you watching this video all the way to the end. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next video.